I want you to imagine this. A massive object, taller than most skyscrapers, lifting off from Earth. Not in a movie, not in a dream, but for real right here, in our lifetime. SpaceX's Starship isn't just a spacecraft. It's a declaration of faith, proof that limits only exist in our minds. When I watched it rise, I didn't just see steel, fire, and smoke. I saw belief, the kind of belief humanity slowly lost in the noise of doubt and routine. Elon Musk turned what millions once called impossible into reality. And it made me think, if one person can hold on to an impossible dream long enough, the world will eventually have to catch up. Have you ever wondered if you gave up on a dream just because it felt too big? A Hollywood director once told me, "Nothing great ever began with certainty. Every extraordinary thing started with someone being laughed at." Elon was laughed at too, but instead of arguing, he let results do the talking. And now, as Starship breaks through our atmosphere, it's not just carrying metal and fuel, it's carrying hope. Hope that if we dare to dream, and stay faithful to that dream, we won't just reach Mars. We'll reach a better version of ourselves. You know, when people hear the phrase, cash grab, they tend to roll their eyes as if making money is something dirty. But I don't see it that way. To me, it's the fuel of progress. Without financial motivation, no one would spend decades trying to land humans on Mars or build a rocket that survives re-entry. Money, when understood correctly, isn't greed. It's proof that your time, mind, and effort have value. A financial expert once told me, money is proof of work. And he was right. It's not a devil tempting us, it's a measure of contribution. Since the dawn of civilization, when people had to prepare for harsh winters, survival taught us that planning ahead is power. Elon Musk is simply doing that on a planetary scale. He's preparing for Earth's next winter. What I admire most about him isn't how many billions he has, it's how he turns money into momentum for dreams. He doesn't just talk about saving the world, he risks everything for it. He built Tesla to prove clean energy works, Starlink to connect the disconnected, and Starship to open the door to the future. Yes, every move involves money, but behind the numbers is a vision that money alone can't buy. And I think, in some way, we should all learn from that. Let money be your tool, not your chain. Let every dollar you earn be proof that you're contributing to something larger than yourself. I remember one afternoon, a student asked me, "Teacher, if I already have enough food, comfort, stability, why should I still keep pushing?" I smiled and said, "Because meaning isn't found in reaching the finish line. It's found in the path you build for others along the way." That's why I resonate so deeply with what Elon is doing. He's not just building companies, he's building a symbol of human will. He's not perfect. None of us are. But he has something most adults lose somewhere along the way, a reason to wake up every morning. When you live for a mission instead of results, everything shifts. You work not to prove your worth, but to express the best part of who you are. People like Musk, and maybe the ones you admire too, are just examples of that truth. They see what others overlook, and they refuse to give up when the world laughs. So ask yourself this, if tomorrow you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do to make this world just a little better? Maybe you'd teach someone. Maybe you'd start something small. Maybe you'd just be kinder. That's what mission looks like. Because in the end, true success isn't about what you have. It's about who you become while chasing it. And when you find your mission, every effort, no matter how small, becomes part of something great. I still remember meeting an engineer who once worked at SpaceX. He told me, "The craziest part isn't that Elon wants to go to Mars. It's that he actually made people believe it's possible." That line stuck with me. Because it captures the essence of leadership, not commanding but instilling belief. Elon Musk can't weld every piece of steel or code every line of software. But he has something rarer than skill, a vision that makes people want to help. A real leader doesn't need to be the smartest person in the room. They just need to be the one who makes everyone else want to be their best selves. After more than 20 years in the entertainment industry, I've learned this. Whether you're a director, an actor, or a producer, everyone needs a spark of belief. When you walk onto a set at 4 a.m., cold and exhausted, Sometimes all it takes is one person saying, "We've got this," to lift the entire crew. That's the Elon Musk effect, a vision so powerful it drags you out of bed and convinces you that the impossible is just temporary. And if you're out there building, working, struggling with something no one else seems to understand, remember this. No one has to believe in you right away. You just have to believe long enough for your results to speak for themselves. Because sometimes, the greatest thing you can do isn't convincing others to believe in you. It's refusing to stop believing in yourself. Let me tell you a little story. Back in 2017, at a tech conference about the future, a scientist said something that stuck with me. Humanity only evolves when it learns to prepare for tomorrow. That sentence stayed in my head for years. Because whether in history or in life today, it's never the strongest who survive. It's the ones who prepare. Our ancestors learned how to store food before winter came. Today we learn how to store knowledge, energy, and technology for the new age ahead. Elon Musk is simply doing what humankind has always done, preparing for the future while others are still uncertain. He doesn't wait for a crisis to act. He looks far ahead, and he starts building while everyone else is still doubting. And that's the lesson I want to share with you. Don't wait until everything feels ready, because that moment never really comes. You just need one idea, one belief, and one step forward. In the entertainment world, I've seen countless talents buried before they bloomed people, too afraid they weren't good enough, too scared to fail, too worried about being laughed at. But here's the truth. Every genius begins with fear. Steve Jobs, Spielberg, Musk, all of them were once called dreamers. Yet those who dare to prepare for the future, who act before the world believes in them, they're the ones who write history. Because the future doesn't arrive by accident. It comes to those who build it starting today. Now, I want you to imagine this. One day, a child will open its eyes for the first time, not on Earth, but on Mars. It will grow up under a red sky, watching two suns rise above a cold horizon. And when someone tells that child about Earth, about blue oceans, falling rain, and green forests, it will just smile, as if hearing a fairy tale. Isn't that extraordinary? For the first time in history, humanity will have two homes. One where we were born, and one where we dared to dream. Starship isn't just a rocket. It's a doorway to a new chapter of existence. When I was little, I used to sit on the porch, stare at the sky, and wonder, if I throw a rock hard enough, could it reach that star? Back then, I didn't know anything about gravity, orbits, or physics. All I had was imagination. And I believe it's that same imagination, fueled by knowledge and faith, that brought humanity to this very moment. We live in an age where the impossible is becoming real. But behind all those machines and technologies, there are still only humans with hearts that know how to dream. Maybe you'll never travel into space, but you can still build your own universe. A universe where you dare to dream bigger, love deeper, and live better. Because, in the end, leaving Earth is just a metaphor for one thing. Learning how to rise beyond your own limits. I've come to believe that success isn't about how much you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. Over the years, I've met many famous people. Singers, actors, entrepreneurs. They had money, fame, and everything the world calls success. And yet, behind the scenes, many of them ask me the same question. Why do I still feel empty? I always tell them, because you're counting victories, but forgetting to listen to your soul. True success isn't when the world applauds you. It's when you can smile to yourself in silence. Elon Musk isn't just building rockets. He's rebuilding humanity's belief in what's possible. And that's worth more than any stock or fortune. A film director once told me, a great movie doesn't make the audience say, "That was amazing." It makes them go silent for a few seconds after the lights come on. I think the lives of people who create real change are the same. They make the world fall silent just long enough to reflect on itself. So if you're chasing a dream, remember this. The greatest meaning of your journey isn't glory, it's transformation. Every failure makes you deeper. Every step brings you closer to who you were meant to be. Because in the end, the most beautiful thing isn't reaching for the stars. It's finding your own light right here on Earth.